Good morning, everybody. So today we're going to talk about feet, okay? And we're going to talk about feet because our feet are the base of everything else. We spend a lot of time on our feet, and they also tend to be one of the places we ignore the most when it comes to our bodies. And it's kind of silly, really, because you stand on them, and when you stand on them, depending on what kind of footwear you've got on your feet, what happens to the rest of your body is a direct translation of what is going on down at your feet. And we do several things here at the studio that are gait assessment protocols, which obviously currently we can do, but we're just doing them online. But at the same time, we're integrating some of those patterns and some of those things that are gait related into all of our classes. But if you're not coming to class, are there things that you can do at home that will also help with the mobility of your ankles and help to translate how the rest of your body works from the ground up? And the answer for sure is yes. There's lots of things you can do. We actually gave everybody at Christmas time this year one of these little balls, and we gave everybody directions on how to use this little ball along with it. And we gave you a bunch of foot care things as well, just because the feet, like I said, tend to be a little bit ignored, and we want to make sure that you're looking after them really, really well. And what better time than now? We all have some time on our hands all of a sudden. So you're going to take this little ball that we gave you, and you're going to roll it on the bottom of your foot. Now, the goal is not to make this hurt. The goal is not to wince in pain, but the goal is to find some of those tender areas through the bottom of your foot that perhaps are a little tight or a little imbalanced, that aren't working quite the way that they're supposed to. And if you've had sprained ankles like most of us have, or if you have a plantar fasciitis issue, or you've got anything else that has happened with your feet, whether it be surgeries or otherwise, you're probably going to find areas underneath your foot that this will grab and pull just a little bit. So all you're going to do is take that ball and put it underneath your foot. You can do this sitting on your couch even, or sitting on your kitchen chair. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. I'll just turn sideways here for you. And so you're just going to roll and put gentle pressure down into the foot until you find a spot that feels slightly tender. Now, I used to have a ton of tender spots down underneath my foot, but through working more with Pilates and doing more ankle mobility work, I don't have any tender spots underneath my feet anymore. So you'll probably find some down through the arch, is where one of the places are. And when you get that, you're just gonna gently press down on it, breathe through it, try and will the foot to relax down over the top of the ball, and then roll again. Other spots are right underneath the ball of the foot, just before the arch. Lots of times those spots will be tight as well. So just finding that spot and just holding there, and just a couple of breaths. And again, not so that it's excruciatingly painful, but just so that you can feel that that muscle is releasing underneath the ball. Then you're going to take the ball out from underneath there, and you're going to do some mobilizing through the ankle. So I'm going to cross my foot over so you can kind of see what's happening with the foot, but you need to use your hand, okay? You can turn the ankle on your own, but it's not going to do the same thing as if you actually physically mobilize it a little bit for yourself. So you're going to do full circles, and I want you to actually turn the ankle. Now, I've torn both my Achilles tendons about 30 years ago, 35 years ago. So my ankle clicks and cracks. Then you're gonna go the other direction. Lots of people, their ankles will click and clack. For the most part, as long as it's not painful, then they are fine. Okay, so this is your first mobility, is the circle motion at the ankle. The second one is a hinge. So it's just turning the foot. So it hinges at the ankle bone. You can turn the base of the foot up towards the ceiling and then tip the foot back down. And as you can see, it doesn't have a ton of mobility here. The mobility will be different for every single person, depending on what you've done to your ankles previously and what kind of shoes you wear on a regular basis. I don't wear shoes, or very rarely do I wear shoes. My husband laughs at me all the time. So I have good mobility through my feet. From that position, you're going to grab a hold of your heel, and you're actually going to twist the bottom of the foot. So if you buy our toe socks and you wear our toe socks, there's actually a band that supports and goes around the arch, and that is the part of the foot that actually rotates and twists. If your foot doesn't rotate and twist, you have a gait problem, okay? There should be a roll and movement through your foot. There should be movement here. When you walk, your foot actually does roll from the inside to the outside of the foot, so there should be movement in those two directions. Then you're gonna take your hand, you're gonna put first finger underneath the ball of the big toe, and your thumb underneath on the opposite side. So it's above the bone. And you're gonna hinge the toes. So my toes will hinge this way. You can see how far they fold around my thumb. They go to about a 90-degree angle. When I fold them the opposite way, I wanna make sure I'm not just pushing on the toe itself, but I wanna push way up onto the toe so that it hinges over top of my finger on the bottom. When you go this way, you'll feel some length and stretch in the front of the foot. When you go this way, lots of people will feel stretch in the bottom of the foot. Okay, and if you stand up and actually walk around before you start this and then do it again after you're done moving the ankles, you'll notice a massive difference in how your ankles feel. Once you've loosened off the ankles and you continue going through whatever workout or whatever movement it is that you've chosen for the day, you'll actually find that the muscles through the rest of the body engage better and that you get better results out of your workouts and just out of your movement in general. If you have any questions, please let us know. Happy moving your feet, you guys. Hopefully they're feeling healthier and happier the more that you use your ball and the more you mobilize them. See you soon.